It's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on IFUS. Before I get started, I would like to note to please check my IRP disclaimer. With that being said, interesting chart here that's taking shape. It's been pretty quiet, as you can see by the low volume, but it's had its little moments where some volume has come in. And the interesting thing is when this volume does come in, you can see these big days do happen. Now, also with these big days and big ranges, what that tells me is this float must be very favorable, very small. So with small floats, the price can move very quickly. So this looks to be a low float stock, much better than one of those, with 8 billion shares out or anything, like that. So low float stock we're dealing with, and I haven't called the transfer agent or anything like that, but again, simply looking at the chart and seeing these ranges and how wide these are, that just tells you right there that it is a low float. So a low float stock with the right interest and so forth can really produce a lot of smiles all the way around. So the first thing that sticks out to me on the chart is probably one of the more powerful patterns out there, that being the symmetrical triangle pattern. So up here is the resistance portion of the pattern, so change this to red, and then down here we have the support portion of the pattern. Let's try that again. There we go. Change this to green to represent support. And this is just basically a big wedge, but technically speaking, it's called a symmetrical triangle. And I would give the edge to the bulls. Now, what justifies or what allows me to say that? Well, if we look at the overall trend indicator being the 200-day simple moving average, you can see that it's essentially going sideways. So that's neutral. But then when we look at the other longer term trend indicator, the 50-day simple moving average, this purple line, you can see that it has a very clear upward slope to it, which is why I'm saying that this wedge or symmetrical triangle is a bullish symmetrical triangle, because it is happening within a context of this upsloping 50-day simple moving average. So that's always important. There's wedges that can form in downtrending charts, and those are bearish wedges. But again, because we have this upsloping 50-day simple moving average, that puts us in a bullish environment and allows us to be able to call this a bullish symmetrical triangle. So support-wise, ideally, like to see the 200-day support hold on any sort of pullback. That's valued at 0.0027. But at the end of the day, the level that really matters to hold is this lower trend line here. You can see multiple times it has acted as support. So as long as this line holds at the end of the day, the symmetrical triangle will still be intact. Now for the fun stuff, resistance levels. There looks to be a small little resistance right here at this level, 004. So I'm going to make that red, but I'm going to leave the line nice and skinny because, with the right, upsurge in volume, I don't foresee 0.004, providing that much resistance. But then after that, have the trend line here, which basically maps right or, corresponds directly with that 0.004. But after 0.004, resistance is really beginning to thin out. Next level of resistance is not until up here above 0.005, and you may be thinking, well, that's 0.004 to 0.005. That's just a 0.001 increment. Well, remember, when we're talking about a sub penny stock, percentages add up very quickly. So this, although may not look like a big distance on the chart, percentagely speaking, that's a nice potential gain. And then after this resistance, next one is not until way up here at this previous high, which is valued at 0.006. So again, percentagely speaking, these resistances have some nice potential between them. After 0.06, charts basically, for argument's sake, in blue sky breakout territory, you can see I scrunch it up. So lots of upside room here, but one step at a time. First, price needs to break out of this symmetrical triangle, but with a low float, things could really get moving quickly, so it's worth keeping an eye on. Again, this was IFUS. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for listening.